Ready? Hello. Can you guys hear me? Hi, I'm Jacob Newbaum, the CEO of Busy Life, and I'm going to explain why I decided to break up with NetSuite and run away with Odoo. I started my career slinging 100-pound boxes on the plant floor of a steel manufacturing plant and was instantly curious in how all of our systems and processes worked. Before long, I was moved into the office and began managing the plant's IT. I soon discovered that we were using a lot of disconnected siloed softwares that were quite inefficient. For example, the CEO spent hours of time each day trying to calculate prices for an order based on complex formulas on a spreadsheet using macros that he did not understand. I knew there had to be a better way. This led me to the world of ERP and soon enough, Odoo. From the moment I laid my eyes on Odoo, it was love at first sight. The colors were beautiful. The intuitive user experience removed the rigid barrier between business users and its software capabilities, and its ecosystem was unmatchable. Before long, I had established Busy Life and began building out marketing materials for Odoo. I ended up getting a few clients and then started getting scouted by ERP companies. The CEO of an up-and-coming NetSuite implementation company took me out for a beer and offered me a job. They were doing something different and gave me an attractive offer that I couldn't refuse. While at that company, we were on the Philly 100 fastest growing company list every year and were awarded by NetSuite as a leader for biotech and biopharma for the past 2 consecutive years. It was my job to manage the development of life science focused products such as OCR, punch-outs, 3PL integrations, CLM, approvals, and sunshine reporting to distinguish ourselves from other vendors that simply provided generic ERP implementation services. We were able to compete against much bigger technology firms for jobs in the life science space and win consistently because we had a vertical focus with products designed specifically for that industry. We were not simply showing them an ERP system and telling them of its capabilities that could meet their needs. We were showing their needs already met by the ERP system. Even though I loved my work at this company and I loved the value that I provided to our clients, from the very beginning, I could not help but draw comparisons between NetSuite and Odoo, the most important of which was its ecosystem. Even though NetSuite was a system with a good personality, it had a lot of personal growth it had to work on before being in a relationship. In all seriousness, I'm not here to bash NetSuite. All ERPs aim to accomplish the same goals. Replace siloed applications with a consolidated suite of applications that communicate seamlessly and provide key insights into your business. Furthermore, ERP software selection is not as important as best practices, proper management of expectations, thorough documentation, and good user training. The capabilities of modern software systems are great. However, even the best software system in the world is useless without being properly adapted to a company's processes and without properly training its users to empower them to use the software. Partner and process are undoubtedly most important for an ERP implementation. But software selection and capabilities certainly matter significantly as well, since these are the tools that enable partners to follow the correct process and adapt software to a client's needs. With that being said, let me start by talking about some of NetSuite's strengths. It has strong multi-subsidiary and multi-currency support. It has advanced workflows to create complex approval processes with a visual user interface, and has the strong ability to create custom views with custom save searches and reports, and it is a lot more customizable and flexible than systems such as SAP or Oracle. Although incredible in other regards, Odoo could have improved multi-subsidiary and consolidation support. It could also have stronger out-of-the-box approval workflows. It also has some work to go to market itself towards mid-sized and larger companies. On the downside, NetSuite has a rather closed ecosystem. For example, in order to learn NetSuite, you need to either pay money for a NetSuite account, or you need to work at a firm that implements NetSuite for paying clients. The actual amount of free learning content on NetSuite is limited. This is a pay-to-play strategy, and it kind of creates a barrier of entry for developers and stifles innovation. This is not really something unique to NetSuite, but it's consistent across the vast majority of ERPs on the market. The result is less and more costly talent. NetSuite also has a restrictive marketplace. They don't allow competition on their marketplace, have a lengthy built for NetSuite BFN process, and have a dismissive partner management team. For example, at the former company I worked for, when I requested for one of our SuiteApps to be pre-approved, the process before it goes through the BFN process, a senior marketplace team member ignored me and then rejected the SuiteApp without giving any clear guidance on what was problematic or how to fix the issue. As the NetSuite marketplace team is different from the sales team, they did not understand or appreciate the value our company and our SuiteApp brought to the NetSuite ecosystem. Finally, NetSuite has a weak deployment and testing platform. While making progress through Suite Cloud Development Framework, or SDF, it's rather limited in what objects it is able to bundle, and there's no way to do automated testing out of the box. On the other hand, by building itself on top of a well-architected open source framework, Odoo has built the strongest ERP ecosystem in the world. Despite Odoo only having a fraction of the ERP market share, it has tons of free training materials and an enormous developer talent pool. Their open marketplace has a low barrier to entry, resulting in the biggest business marketplace in the world. While NetSuite advertises its heavily vetted marketplace as a strength, Odoo relies on customer ratings and allows discretion of partners and technologists in deciding which third-party apps to install, increasing competition in its marketplace and giving more choice to the consumer. Furthermore, Odoo has an extremely strong continuous integration, continuous development pipeline through Odoo SH and an automated testing framework built into its system. All changes can be bundled as a GitHub branch, and the change history of a staging or production environment can clearly be seen since each Git branch is associated with a staging or production database. Odoo's built on top of a robust and modular architecture and embraced an open ecosystem that has enabled it to scale faster than any other ERP on the market. Yes, Odoo is cute, real cute. Like, it's really, really cute. However, it is so much more than a pretty interface. It is not enough for modern software applications to just be amazing software. Software is evolving constantly. In order to keep up with constant growth, modern applications need to attract talented developers, which are the individuals that evolve and grow software beyond its base capabilities. Legacy ERPs do not understand this. By relying on their rich feature sets and historic enterprise trust, they take for granted the significance of creating an accessible landscape to attract developers so they can keep up with the pace of technology in a constantly changing world. On the contrary, Odoo has built an army of developers around the world that are rapidly developing its marketplace and open source core, resulting in an active enterprise team that is quickly improving its product in order to compete with the pace of its own ecosystem. By taking a collaborative approach and by encouraging knowledge sharing, competition, and innovation, Odoo has positioned itself to dominate the ERP market in the long term. The former company that I worked for excelled in the life science space, not because of NetSuite, but because of the value we had added to the space through our life science specific products built on top of NetSuite, which transformed them from seeing generic ERP software to a life science specific solution. It was not the ERP itself that was unique, but the way we had customized it to fit the industry's complex and specific requirements that made it truly special. It isn't good enough for modern software applications to sell based on their merit alone. Rather, they must continually compete to attract the best and brightest developer talent so that partners and developers can integrate and adapt the software to industry-specific workflows, allowing companies to realize software's ever-evolving capabilities. In the phone market, the reason why Android and Apple left BlackBerry and Microsoft in the dust is because they drew creators and inventors to add an incredible amount of value to their space through friendly development tools and incredibly strong app stores. Likewise, no other ERP in the marketplace is as friendly to customization and has valued their developer community as much as Odoo, which has allowed them to foster the strongest ERP ecosystem on the market. To quickly summarize, partners and processes are always more important than the particular software system that is used. That is precisely why the best ERP in the world is the one that best attracts the most talented creators to extend its generic capabilities and leverage the latest and greatest technology to build robust, up-to-date, industry-specific solutions. Odoo understands this assignment well and is quickly winning the hearts and minds of creators and innovators, leaving traditional ERPs in the dust. And that is why I, personally, have decided to break up with NetSuite and run away with Odoo. So I'm developing a white paper in more detail to create a more objective comparison of NetSuite and Odoo. And if you scan the link there, I'll send it to you soon. So I'm going to leave that up for just a minute.
Thank you very much for this presentation. I will check now for any questions on the pad. Don't hesitate to keep on writing on the pad if you have more questions to ask. So I see here that I have a question. From your experience, can you describe the process of becoming a partner in NetSuite compared to Odoo? It seems very easy to become an Odoo partner. Well, let's see what you have to say about this.
So I was not personally a partner. I worked for an alliance partner of NetSuite. So I'm not certain what the process is of becoming a NetSuite partner. I do believe that it is easier to become an Odoo partner than a NetSuite partner.
What would be a reason for that?
I think that they are a little bit more. I think it's more expensive to become a NetSuite partner, and also I think they check more things before you become a partner. Odoo, it's pretty much anybody can sign up that pays to become a partner, and it's not a super cost prohibitive fee to become a Odoo partner.
Okay, thank you. You said NetSuite is a closed ecosystem. Isn't it better than open source as it cannot be easily tampered?
Yeah, so Odoo is open core. So Odoo, it has an open source core, and then it has enterprise code. The Odoo Association, Odoo is in charge of both repositories, so they manage the code base for both. For the open source version, that's different than the enterprise code base, first of all, and then second of all, the open source code base, anyone can propose changes, but it's Odoo that's actually deciding which changes they want to merge and actually have as part of their database that's going to be used for clients. So Odoo is completely in control of their code. All it means, it actually makes the code base more robust, making it open source, because you have more eyes on it to be able to see where, if there's vulnerabilities, everybody sees that and they can suggest a fix. Whereas in a closed source system, it's really just in the hands of the company. So there's a lot less eyes on it. So I would say it actually makes it more risky to have a closed source system.
That's the whole principle of having contributors to your repository and make sure that people can actually give their opinion. Mm-hmm. So it's a strategy. Next question is, where are the most significant limitations using Odoo for a multi-company setup compared to NetSuite?
So for for NetSuite, they have the one world is for multi-subsidiary, and Odoo just released the new branch management, which I'm excited to see and try out. But with NetSuite, with Odoo, you have, in the previous versions, you had multi-company, and so every company has its own chart of accounts and is its own entity. And so it makes it a little bit more complex than in NetSuite, where you can have a shared chart of accounts, and it basically acts like a analytic account dimension in NetSuite. That's the best comparison I can think of, where if you're looking at the profit and loss, you'd be able to select seeing it for particular subsidiaries. Whereas with Odoo, you need to do a little bit more work. The branch management feature, I'll need to play around with and try that out, because that looks promising. But I think this is an area that Odoo needs to work on in the long term.
Thank you. I have here a question about the price. So which one is cheaper? Let's say for 50 to 100 users company, maybe let's focus on 50 users for a company. What kind of price range would we have with NetSuite, for example?
Yeah, so NetSuite it's a lot, pretty much most ERPs, it's a lot more difficult than Odoo to figure out pricing, and there's always another discount with NetSuite.
Extra charges then.
Yeah, with Odoo, they're very straightforward with their pricing. It is significantly less expensive than NetSuite. So I can't give like a specific number that NetSuite costs, but it's like multiple times the price of Odoo with just the licensing cost.
Okay, thank you. I think that's it for now. I don't see any more questions. Don't hesitate if you still have questions. We can still put them on. Otherwise, thank you very much for this talk, Jacob. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I see one more